We spend a lot of time at the Texas MBA program thinking about leadership and what leadership means. And we've thought that we can distill it into a number of what we call pillars of leadership, or fundamental pillars of leadership. We come up with 4 of them. We think about knowledge and understanding, communication and collaboration, a worldview of business and society, and responsibility and integrity. And when we think about those 4 pillars, they really help us guide what we do in our program, what we expect of our students, how they can see leadership. So when I think about leaders, I think about people who can inspire others. You would be willing to be led by someone, or you'll lead better if you have knowledge and understanding. No one's going to follow someone that they don't trust, that they don't believe is knowledgeable. So how do we gain that? How do we help develop that? Well, in the Texas MBA program, that falls into who we admit into the program, the knowledge that they bring with them already, the knowledge that they share among their peers, the knowledge that faculty bring to them and help them share and help them learn through their core classes, through their elective classes, and through any number of co-curricular activities.
MBA Plus is a bunch of different things, so I'll try to break it down as easily as possible. First, I already addressed what an MBA Plus project is. It's consulting projects for different companies that are of your choosing. MBA Plus coaches are different coaches with different focuses that you get to leverage here to make yourself better. So they're interview prep coaches. So if you're not comfortable interviewing, you can hire a Plus coach to help you interview. If you're doing a case competition that students do here all the time, you can hire a speech coach to help your team fine-tune their presentation.
There's several classes too that speak to leadership and how to lead beyond the program. One of which is Managing Complexity, which is taught by Ruben McDaniels, and it really taught me, or it really gave me a new perspective of leadership and really reinforcing the notion of leading by example.
I think the highlight of my experience at McCombs has been the Venture Fellows experience. So what I've had a chance to experience was not only forming awesome bonds with 18 other Venture Fellows, but also having an opportunity to intern at a VC or PE firm for 2 semesters.
Well, one of the most fun things I've done in my time here at McCombs is take part in a case challenge, and I had the opportunity to organize one as part of the Graduate Marketing Network. So a case challenge is basically a case competition where our title sponsor is basically a company that is the sponsor of the case challenge. They will give us a real business case that they have. Most of the times it's a real business problem that they're facing, and we have teams of students who will sort of analyze the case and then present the next day morning.
All right, so when it comes to communication and collaboration, there's many opportunities for students in the Texas MBA program to collaborate. Some are forced, some are unforced. In many of our classes, we require a substantial amount of group work, and we put people together into teams that they may or may not be comfortable with at the beginning. The collaboration doesn't take place only in formal group projects. It takes place in this plethora of student organizations that we've got.
I'd say one of the strengths of McCombs is that a lot of the student-run organizations encompass anything that you could ever imagine. So from the basketball club to the wine club to the consulting club to the finance club. So the very different ends of the spectrum, but that allows you to connect with people who are of similar interest to yourself and really just make new friends outside of the classroom.
So some of the organizations in which I'm involved, I am part of Graduate Women in Business. We do a lot of social activities and networking activities, as well as talking with recruiters who are specifically hiring for diversity. I'm also a part of MBA Outsource. It's the LGBT, which is lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgendered, transsexual group on campus. We're really interested in, talking to people and making sure that the LGBT issue and the issue of diversity is something that's really encapsulated.
I personally am mainly involved in the Graduate Business Council, which is the student government for McCombs.
The first thing I wanted to do when I got here was that I wanted to be an officer within the Armed Forces Alumni Association.
So now let's turn to a worldview of business and society. That's our 3rd pillar. And I think it goes almost without saying these days that in order to be a leader, one needs to be mindful of the greater world that we live in. We bring together a class of people who come from around the world. We bring together opportunities for people to travel the world and learn how business is done around the world. We bring together global connections classes where we have our students go literally around the world to learn and see and experience business as it's done in different regions of the world.
One of my favorite experiences here at McCombs is International Night. It's an opportunity for our entire class to get together, actually both classes to get together, and each country sets up a booth. And I mean, it's a 360 view of where they're from the food to the culture.
Last year I got to go on the MBA Global Connections Tour to India and had an awesome trip, getting to know my classmates and really bonding over good food, amazing sights, and a lot of awesome visits to companies.
So now we've got someone who's knowledgeable. We have someone who can communicate, can inspire, can collaborate and work with others, and has a view of leadership that involves a worldview of business, a worldview of business and society. But if that person can't be trusted, if that person has no integrity, if that person is, sometimes we talk about lying, cheating scumbags, then those aren't going to be the sorts of leaders that we want to be around, that we want to develop. So our fourth pillar is responsibility and integrity.
One of my favorite classes at McCombs is the Law and Ethics class. And the reason for this is it's a great worldview on business and how good business requires ethical behavior and integrity. At the point of graduation, we can volunteer to sign what we call an MBA oath. What that is an oath that 250 business schools around the world have, and it commits, when you sign it, you commit yourself to being ethical and to have integrity when you enter into the business world.
What we'd like to see in our influential business leaders are people who can make a difference, people who can change the world, people who will have an impact. And we believe that that comes through leadership that can be associated with what we call our four pillars of leadership: knowledge and understanding, communication, collaboration, a worldview of business and society, and responsibility and integrity. Throughout the Texas MBA program, we give you many, many opportunities to hone skills in those areas.